Well, so we have to look at what the stories are on the front and back pages of the newspapers as we have them. But we'll also try to look at what the stories are on the various news portals, because this is usually what we do. And so let's look at Joy FM's prominent news portal, myjoyonline.com, and you have the story, lifestyle, 5 fabulous reasons to date younger men. I don't know whether I'm younger or old. I think I'm old now. And the 70 World Cup, stingy Mali joined prolific Nigerian semi-finals. We always present age players in these competitions, so we can make much of them. We have next one and 2 teachers in Bonafo caught using fake certificate. Fred, can we go up? Can we go up? Let's forget about these ones. Can we go up? Okay, so we have Justice Derry accuses judge of being biased, and the obvious verdict and the MPP's war song. That's Manasseh's folder. He has his blog and usually is always writing on the opinion page. You also have Don't Promise Heaven on Earth. Mahama tells aspiring MPs, and I'm sure speaking to, as far as we're concerned, the various MPs or those aspirants contesting in the 21st of November primaries of the NDC. But we have today newspapers. Let's see whether they're okay. If we have, and okay, so we have to upload. We go quickly. We look at the front page of the Daily Guide. We have woman poisons 2 daughters over broken heart in Takoradi, and residents of Esikado in the Sekondi Takoradi metropolis of the Western region. They became dumbfounded yesterday when news broke that a popular woman in the area had allegedly poisoned her 2 daughters to death. NDC pushes Congress to November 21. That has already been widely announced to you. We also have Derry sues judge of Anas video, and apparently Justice Paul Otaderi, one of the High Court judges indicted in the Anas Aremeyaw Anas corruption scandal, had filed a suit at the Supreme Court seeking to prevent Justice Gertrude Tokonu, Court of Appeal judge, from hearing his case involving the ACE investigative journalist and 4 others on claims of bias. Front page of the Finder newspaper has the story, government ditches Printex, imports fabric for preschool uniforms. Documents available to the Finder indicate that the Ministry of Education has flouted the directive of President John Dramani Mahama on government policy on made-in-Ghana products. If this is true, I think it's very much unfortunate. LBCS call for probing to seed fund guarantee policy, and licensed cocoa buying firms are optimistic that the Finance Ministry will set up a committee to review the seed fund guarantee policy introduced by the Ghana Cocoa Board. And we are ready to submit Togo register to EC, that's according to the MPP. And it's a member of Parliament for Kapim South, Osei Bonsuama, who's a regular on our show, has said that the request made by the EC to have it supplied with further and better particulars of the Togo register will be done very soon. We also have on the front page of the Business and Financial Times the story about tons of yam going rotten before exports, and out of a possible 100,000 tons of yam available to exporters per annum, only about 25,000 to 30,000 tons get exported, as factors like excessive use of chemicals by farmers, poor handling and delays at the ports make the produce perish faster. We need engineers, not oil and gas managers. Deputy Petroleum Minister Benjamin Dagadu has described as unfortunate the practice whereby most Ghanaians wanting to work in the oil and gas sector shy away from technical aspects of the sector, opting rather to pursue various courses such as oil and gas management and things like that. He said, how many of the oil and gas installations do we have in Ghana for you to go and manage? You have to learn more of the technical details. Science-related courses will do. Do a lot more science-related courses, please. All right, so we have SME need government support. SMEs need government support to rebound economic growth, and SMEs need strong government support in order to ensure that the economy is back on track. And that's from Philip Oti-Mensah. He's the Managing Director of Union Savings and Loans. And very recently, they were adjudged as one of the most performing banks as far as customer service is concerned at the recent banking awards that was undertaken very recently. Now, let's look at This one, Justice Derry, we have looked at it adequately. It says the embattled judge is fighting attempts to remove him from the bench after investigative journalist Anas Aremi Yawanas petitioned the president to remove him for misconduct. And we know that he was filmed in that very video as well. We have to look at the next story. We're looking on the page, myjoyonline.com. Nana Aba Anamoah leaves TV3, says she's been wanting to leave for years. So you can see the beautiful Nana Aba Anamoah there, captured in the stadium of Manchester United. We have news anchor Nana Aba Anamoah has resigned from private television network TV3 after Twitter brouhaha. And this comes after the Diva show host was suspended by her employer following her alleged involvement in an online information on photo theft. A statement signed by the company's chief executive officer, Augustus Dixon, said after preliminary investigations internally and in accordance with TV3's own commitment to the highest level of professionalism, management has decided to take Nana Aba Anamoah off air, and subsequently, she has also decided to take them off her radar. She's resigned. So we'll see how that goes. We'll go on to the page of City FM. We have some of the highlights of the stories there. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a closing on some of those stories. Don't punish us for picketing at Finance Ministry. Talking about NADMO and the other officials. We have ignored Freddie Blaze illegal meeting, suspended at FOCO. And apparently there's a post on social media that's indicating that the office of what we know in the media as a suspended chairman of the MPP, saying that there's a meeting that is ongoing or has been called by the National Executive Committee. He says, or his office says, according to the statement they are posting, it's illegal. Make sure that you don't go to the meeting if you're an executive of the MPP. We are telling you according to this very statement. And we also have, don't blame us for influx of fake teachers. So you get Ghana Education Service explaining better. But they will be in the studio, and Reverend Nate, who's a PRO for the Ghana Education Service, will be in the studio, and we'll have a lengthy discussion and enlightened discussion on the subject as well. And so don't worry, just stay glued to this very channel, and we'll bring you a lot more as far as that is concerned. Woman poisons 2 daughters at a Sikado, Sekondi Takoradi Metropolis. That's where it happened. And this also has been well articulated and also reporting in the various news portals, My Joy Online, City FM Online, etc. And so you get a little more insight into it. NDC decides audio report from Ningo Pram constituency is also there as part of City FM serial campaigns, etc. They are doing a lot more of that. Nana Aba Anamoah resigns from TV3. Bulldog is not professional. Shatta Wale hits back over split up. I would want to look at the story, and so we'll go to Bulldog. And when you get to read the story, very interesting. It started breaking, I believe, the last 48 hours. And it says, Bulldog is not professional. Shatta hits back over split. And you see him, Shatta movement. With him, Bulldog, his former manager. They are no more, though, as far as the partnership is concerned. An award-winning dancehall artist, Shatta Wale, has descended into the gutters with his immediate manager, Bulldog, explaining he had no professional competencies. And according to the story, in a clear case of a friendship which seems to have gone bad according to what the media reports are, it's basically about money. And the CEO of Bull House Entertainment, Lawrence Nana Isiama Hansen, known in showbiz circles as Bulldog, well, he announced on Saturday that he had parted ways with Shatta Wale. And apparently Shatta Wale didn't take the thing kindly. So he went up. Please go up, Fred. Now this is the response. He says he was incensed and disappointed about the statement, and so he responded this way. There was no agreement in this thing. There was nothing like 50-50. What I get is what we share, 50-50. It was just between me and Bulldog. I love him as a brother, and I wanted him to enjoy what I was enjoying, same as my whole Shatta movement crew. So nobody should take this thing anyway. I'm just putting things across the way it has to be. And when you go up, he says things that are quite interesting. He said, this guy is a guy I took like my brother, but there's nothing like regrets. And talks about how he has also been threatening people and threatening to kill him. He says, I have repeated the part about him threatening to kill me twice, and I won't hide it. That's as serious as it can go. Let's go to the BBC page. You have a lot of stories there about the Sinai crash. It was a Russian airliner, and that very jetliner crashed over the Sinai Peninsula. And we know that this has come and a lot more international scrutiny. And you go up there, you also have Keystone Pipeline Company wants pause, and Downing Street denies scrapping Syria votes, and you have other stories as well. You have Tottenham also hosting, and Benedict will be talking about that. But let's look at that very story on the Sina plane crash before we wrap up on what the stories on the various news stories. It says Sina plane crash, IS. We know Islamic State, they've been putting out statement that they are responsible for the crash. What the investigations have shown is that it will be 30,000 feet from ground to where the aircraft blew up or whatever happened to it up there. And so the IS movement would need a lot more sophisticated weapons to be able to hit an airliner or an aircraft that's up high. And also, they are thinking it's not a bomb blast as well. And so they are also not getting details whether it was a technical fault on board. And so they're just in the middle somehow. And so they're just correcting that. So when you go up, the story is well outlined. And talking about Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has described claims that militants linked to Islamic State IS, they brought down the Russian airliner. And he says that is pure propaganda. He told the BBC that it was too early to say what had caused the crash, and we know that it involved 224 people who died. And that'll be it for the various stories we're looking at the various news portals this morning. And so we're taking a break. When we come, Benedict Owusu will be here to give us enlightened sports, and he's up next. Do stay on.